Baker's just a small town. Everyone knows everyone. Pretty much everyone's, close with everyone. And everyone knows everyone's business, what goes on around here.
How big is this town?
Not very big. I think we got one red light. It was definitely a shock to the whole community.
And she was well known and well liked by what everybody says, right?
Yes, everyone you would talk to, she was a very sweet lady. She deserved better than that.
She was a loving, kind, beautiful, sexy young lady. She had beautiful body. I've said it over and over. My wife was a beautiful lady,
In 1991, Jimmy Yates was a teacher at Baker High and recalls preparing for a graduation ceremony the day of the incident.
I sat in the very back, and all of a sudden, the music director came and tapped me on the shoulder and says, "Mr. Yates, they say your house is on fire." And I got up and I run down the hallway, got in my car and went home. There was firemen trucks all around the house. I started searching around and calling for her.
His wife, 45-year-old Norma Jean Yates, was found inside this home, shot to death 7 times. The house set on fire. 35 years later, and a short drive away, a headstone bearing her name memorializes her existence.
I'll never go.
Why?
I don't remember her that way. I don't want to remember her that way. I remember her like that.
His wife's murder now defines him. 6 years after her death, a jury convicted Jimmy Yates of killing her.
Did you kill your wife?
No. I've maintained it all these years.
It's his first sit-down interview after being released in 2021. Yates, nearly 80 years old, is now a free man.
Got along with people. I've never had a traffic ticket in my whole life. Never had an accident in my whole life. Never had any problems with any kind of law enforcement until my wife was killed.
Police found a bullet in his vehicle, which they said matched the lead in bullets at the crime scene. That science the jury trusted when it ultimately convicted Yates, no longer used by the FBI. Yates' 3-decade quest for the truth led to reversals and retrials. With evidence discredited twice, prosecutors still considered another trial, but instead Yates accepted a no-contest plea agreement in exchange for them not trying him again. And with credit for time served, he was released after 2 decades.
They said, "Mr. Yates, what we're going to do is we're going to have this paper, and it says what we're going to say is that nobody wins. You don't win and the state don't win. No. Nobody wins." I said, "Okay, that's fine."
Yates' first conviction in 1998 was called into question because of that bullet they found in Yates' car. When a weapon is missing or a bullet too damaged, the FBI claimed at the time their science could match bullets to ammunition through the lead alone. Our national investigative team found the FBI admitted to using this science in 2,500 cases, and it was introduced in hundreds of trials across America. But in 2005, the FBI pulled the plug on this practice. Their admission, neither scientists nor bullet manufacturers are able to definitively attest to the significance of an association made between bullets in the course of a bullet-lead examination.
It just good common sense tells you that bullets, the lead in a bullet is made, there's a lot of them. It just common sense says that is fake.
Chris Fabricant is one of America's leading experts on forensic science and the criminal justice system, and is the director of strategic litigation at the Innocence Project. He calls comparative bullet-lead analysis junk science.
Subjective speculation masquerading as scientific evidence.
Fabricant has spent his career fighting for the truth and says half of all wrongful convictions are a result of misapplied DNA or forensic science like comparative bullet-lead analysis.
When you think about it, it's kind of like associating a fried egg to the carton of eggs that the egg came from. Number one is that it sounds like science, right? There's a lot of scientific terminology used in all forms of junk science, so it sounds scientific. Nothing sells better than science, right? But what it lacks is an empirical basis. And what I mean by that is that so many of these forensic techniques have been developed not in scientific laboratories, but by law enforcement for law enforcement purposes. So the hypotheses have not been subjected to the rigors of the scientific method.
Our national investigative team found, following the FBI's own admission that it was abandoning the use of bullet lead analysis, it began notifying at least 300 agencies across America that had received lab reports since 1996. Our team uncovered gaps in notifying the convicts. One of those cases is Kermit Parker, a Louisiana man convicted nearly 4 decades ago for the murder of a police officer. In 2008, the FBI sent this letter to the district attorney in Parker's case, saying the testimony exceeds the limits of science and cannot be supported by the FBI. In new court filings, Parker's legal team says they never got that letter, or other evidence implicating another suspect who admitted to killing the officer. We requested the number of how many letters like the one in Parker's case were sent from the FBI. We asked for expedited processing, as time matters in many of these cases. It's a request the FBI denied.
Those notices didn't go to the individuals whose cases were affected. What they did is they sent them to prosecutors and to defense organizations, saying that there may have been a problem with this case.
I met him through a mutual friend. He needed some help with getting an invention typed up for him, and we just kicked it off from there and got to know each other.
Parker's wife, Marcia, spoke to us outside the gates of Louisiana State Penitentiary, where her husband is incarcerated. They want the state's highest court to intervene.
Because he knows I did not do this. He did not do that. So it puts a fire under him to fight even harder, and knowing that he has the proof that proves that he didn't do it.
Officers searched by foot with dogs and choppers clipped across the trees looking for the suspect who shot and killed Sergeant Broussard.
When Parker was accused of killing Sergeant Warren Broussard back in 1988,
I heard a shot and I turned around. The cop had fallen in the street, and I went, all 3 of them started running. 2 of them kept running on down the street.
no murder weapon was ever found.
I'd like to see him prosecuted, sent to the not electric chair anymore, but just put him on the ground.
Bullet lead analysis was also brought up at Parker's trial. With new information coming to light, state justices will decide if Parker gets a new hearing.
That way we can be before a judge and we can show them what has been discovered in those hidden DA files.
If you're going to use it in court, then it has to be valid, it has to be reliable, and when it's not, due process requires we go back, we look at these convictions, and we make sure that miscarriages of justice have not occurred.
What is it like to be free?
I said, I'm going to have the best bed. And I said that I'm going to eat some of the best food because I've eaten dog food for 20 years.
For Ates, a second miscarriage of justice came in 2011 when he was reconvicted. That conviction was overturned in 2018 because evidence was withheld from his attorneys. A CD of another man's confession.
I believe in God, I believe in forgiveness, and I'm not going to hold a grudge in my heart.
Do you still think about her every day?
I think about her every night.